Hello and welcome to the program Moneyline with Nancy Tees. I am Nancy Naji. Thank you all for joining us today. Today we will be talking about our investments. We'll be talking about security of investment, safety of investment, and perhaps, where and where you should put your money. So people will say, oh, there's no money, but at least those monies you have, you should try as much as possible to put them where they will be safe, and not just safe, but perhaps give you some kind of return on investment. Some people will tell me inflation. I know that. Nancy, inflation is 17%. What investment can get me more returns than the rate of inflation? That's what we'll be talking about today on the program. And I have my guests joining me because we're really, digging deep into it. Now, I have my guest with me right here at the table. Somkene Jipreze is the fund manager at UK-Dion Investment Limited. Somkene, welcome again.
Good morning, Nancy. It's nice to be back.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
How are your people?
Oh, they are doing really well.
How are Lagos people?
Lagos is hustle and bustle city.
Hustle and bustle. Yeah, so welcome.
To be there.
So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Let's start this conversation around, investment and just what I said earlier in terms of for people now. Some people are even looking for where to put their money.
Yes.
On the show, many times I've told our viewers, please don't invest in pyramid schemes, don't invest in Ponzi schemes, don't invest in things that people bring to you that is too good to be true. You've got to ask questions, but we must also give them correct information.
Yes.
So just speak to me about the investment environment now and, what people perhaps should, attend to.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with talking about investment security, right? As you said, a lot of people have fallen prey to Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes. It's possible that every one of us know someone who has been a victim. There was MMM, which was very
tell me about it.
Was very popular. Well, popular.
Very
Unfortunately,
popular.
infamous is the better word to describe it. So we know people who have fallen prey to these schemes. People who have invested their money in places where the returns just seem too good to be true. People are telling them we'll give you 20 to 30% of your money on a monthly basis. I mean, what business are you really doing that is turning around that kind of profits on a monthly basis? So the truth is that a lot of people, because they see the high returns, they don't look too closely. They just jump at what seems like a wonderful opportunity, and they don't want it to go out they don't want to let it out of their grasp before it's gone. But it's important that people understand, where their money is going, what is being used for. It's important that people take the time out to sort of scrutinize who is asking them for money, and whether are these legitimate institutions. Are they reputable? Even if they are not well known, are they legal and doing as they promise? So there are certain questions that people should ask, or simple things that they can do just to, first of all, know who is legitimate and who is not. So for most of us in the asset management space, we are regulated by SEC, and we are also members of the Fund Managers Association of Nigeria. And on these two websites, it's very easy to find out the details of who is a member and who is not. And it's the easiest and simplest check that you can conduct. Somebody approaches you with an opportunity that seems too good to be true, just go to the SEC website, check if this company is actually, really regulated by them. If not, it might be best to stay clear. And from there, so what you can do is so you can check on the company that you are looking at. But then there are some simple, let's say, investment instruments that are more or less considered to be, a slam dunk in terms of safety. So things that if you put your money in, you're pretty much guaranteed that the institution that you're putting it with is going to be okay. So simple things like fixed deposits with your commercial banks. These are entities that are regulated by CBN. We all know them face to face. They don't have anywhere to hide, and they are under the thumb of CBN, so they cannot afford to move
Anyhow.
Exactly. They can't just do whatever they like, you know. Another avenue for them, for people to, you know, invest, which is also considered the safest investment in the country, actually, is treasury bills. You know, these short-term investment instruments issued by the federal government, you know, and they are, that's the investments in the country with the lowest amounts of risk. So your guarantee of getting your money back is actually quite high, you know. So these are simple things that can be done, right? And we talk about, you know, fixed deposits. I know that a lot of people will know from personal experience that basically, unless you're bringing a large chunk of money, you know, your returns are not going to be high. And for most people, they don't have access to these large chunks of money that they can use to negotiate, you know,
A good interest
very
rate.
good rate. And that's where UK-Dion investment comes in, right? So what we've done is we've obtained approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission to launch a product, you know, that's the Dion Money Market Fund, right? And what we do in this product is that we pull money from people, you know, whether you have little amounts or you have large amounts, and then we take that money and we invest it in these short-term instruments, these fixed deposits, these treasury bills, and these commercial papers as well. And then we get the best returns possible. Now, that's because, you know, we are professional portfolio managers, so we have these relationships, you know, and what we can do is we can take money from people who are only able to save anything from as little as 5,000 naira,
Okay.
and we are able to give these people the same percentage returns that somebody with a 50 million is able to earn, but then with 5,000, no bank is going to take your 5,000 naira and say, do fixed deposits with us. You know, it doesn't even come close to it. But with this Dion Money Market Fund, what it does is that it looks to cover all ends of the market. The lower end of the market, so people who are looking to save their money, they have 5,000 naira to start with, and they can pull it and be adding to it within the Dion Money Market Fund on a regular basis, however frequently they like. Or for people on the other end, so these are large corporations who have large swaths of cash, maybe sitting idly. They don't want it to sit in the current accounts because the rate on the current account is, you know, minimal to almost nothing. It doesn't really make a difference to them. That money comes into the mutual fund, into the money market fund, and they're able to earn a lot more in it for however long they desire to stay within that investment.
You said quite a lot, and you know, so let's take it bit by bit. The
Yes.
part of, you know, pulling a lot of funds or pulling funds from at least perhaps the bottom of the pyramid.
Well, yes. So the thing is about the Dion Money Market Fund and money market funds in general is that it's not an investment product that discriminates. So it looks to pull funds from everybody, from whatever end of the market you are in. But the main reason why it also skews towards the lower end of the pyramid is because it's supposed to try and include as many people in it. You know, you want to be able to give investment opportunities not just to people who have a lot of money.
So talking
but
of investment inclusion,
exactly.
not
So
financial inclusion now.
well, I mean, because
Yeah.
financial inclusion is just basically
Yeah. Have access to financial services,
Exactly.
insurance, pension, and all that. But
Exactly.
okay, investment inclusion could be a part of financial
an
inclusion.
extension
Yes,
of
an
it, but this
extension
is
of
a
it.
way to grow your money, even
money.
though you may feel like your money is not much. It can still grow for you. It can still work for you. So if you're saving a little bit at a time, you know, that money can still work for you rather than sitting in, I don't know, a savings account, which will be giving you, I think, at the
1%.
moment is 1.15% per annum.
Yeah.
That rate is not.
Yeah, and you know,
doing anything for anybody.
for you to know this kind of things, you must be perhaps a bit savvy. You know, okay, let me put it this way: knowledge savvy, in the sense that perhaps that's also why my show bridges the gap in terms of it's not just about making money, it's about making your money work for you.
Yes.
Not you working for the money, but also make your money work for you and make your money work for you for a longer period of time, because you will not continue to be young, so to speak. So you've got to invest your money.
No one will.
Yes, you know, so even from what you said, even though you have 5,000, you have 10,000 naira, you can invest in this
In the
money
Dion
market,
money
yes, in
fund,
this
yes.
money market fund.
Yes, so it's like you said, you know, I think generally in the investment space, it feels like people feel they are excluded because they don't have the knowledge, you know, and that lack of knowledge, it creates a sense of fear in people when they don't know what you're using their money for. You know, they become more and more skeptical and they are more reticent to give you their money. But with the money market fund, you know, what we have done is we have created a prospectus document. And this document, it gives a very, very detailed outline of how all the money that comes into the fund is going to be utilized. So there are set rules of where we can put the money and where we can't put the money. So at any point in time, any investor can be safe, can rest assured that they know where we've invested their money, and to know that, you know, minimal risk is being taken. They can be happy to know that their money is in safe places.
Okay, for those watching and they want to be part of this, or they want to speak to you, or they want to speak to your company to invest, what should they do now, those watching?
Okay, yes. So for people who are interested in learning a lot more about this Dion Money Market Fund or UK-Dion investment in general, they can visit our website, ukdion.com. They can also email us at info@ukdion.com. If you have inquiries regarding the Dion Money Market Fund specifically, you can also email us at mutualfund@ukdion.com. It's very easy to reach us. People are waiting to hear from you right now. So please just reach out to us and we will answer any questions that you have. Our fund is scheduled to commence on the 25th of October.
Okay.
So we have been gearing up towards that start date. And yeah, we're ready and waiting for everybody to join us on this journey.
So everybody join UK-Dion. That's what UK-Dion is saying, you know, so that you can take advantage of the investment environment. But let's take a look at it this way, especially around inflation and perhaps, you know, the things happening around the economy.
Okay.
And now, can they really, can they really get return on investment, especially with these money market funds?
Okay, so with regards to inflation, right, we know where it has been. You know, it was climbing for quite a while, and in the past few months, it started to drop. So with regards to inflation, we know that it's been up for a while, and over the past few months, it started to regress. You know, it started coming down a bit. And the truth of the matter is that while not every investment you have will beat inflation, the aim for you is actually to always reduce it as much as possible. So you want to reduce the difference between the rate of inflation and your money doing absolutely nothing. So if your money sits idle, you know, it's at zero, and inflation is at, what, around 17%. So what you want to do is reduce that gap. So every investment you make, you want it to be either as close to inflation as possible or even above, you know. So that's what you try to do. So, and that's what the Dion Money Market Fund and UK-Dion investment in general tries to do. We try to help you bridge that gap. For certain investments, we are able to help you beat the gap entirely. And for others, we're able to help you minimize the effects of the inflation, on what you have earned and what you have saved.
Okay, let's take a look at the category of investments again. I know you talked about treasury bills and fixed deposit. Are there some other categories of investment whereby when you pull those money market funds, they go into those investments apart from treasury bills and fixed deposit?
Yes, so aside from the treasury bills and fixed deposits, there are also what are known as commercial papers. Commercial papers are, simply put, they are identical to treasury bills. However, rather than being issued by the federal government, they are issued by corporations. Now, these corporations who issue commercial papers, there is a specific requirements. They have to have what is known as a credit rating. And the credit rating is basically a grade that says this institution is going to be able to pay you back your money, right? And these credit ratings are given by a small handful of agencies that have been appointed by SEC. You know, they do a very, very thorough vetting of the company before they allow them to even issue these commercial papers. And once they get a credit rating that is good, then they are able to issue these commercial papers out into the market. Now, unfortunately, all right, unfortunately for most people, the commercial papers are not easily accessible to individuals, you know, because of the lot sizes in which they are sold. You know, often minimum investments would be around 10 million, maybe 50. So they are not easily accessible to the everyday individual. But that's amongst the advantages of coming into the Dion Money Market Fund, is that we are able to access these types of investments that people wouldn't ordinarily have access to, you know, with their modest investment amounts. So what we do is we pool money from multiple sources and we end up with a very, very big basket of money. And that big basket, it gives us strong bargaining power. It gives us very strong bargaining power, and that allows us to get into investments that are not easily accessible to individuals. It allows us to get higher rates that are not accessible to individuals as well. And it allows us to do a lot of things. You know, what we do is active portfolio management. So we take positions in investments and we hold them out while searching for better places where the money can go. And once we see a better investment opportunity, we move from one to the other. So because what we are doing is we are trying to create as much value as we can for our investors. You know, in the money market fund, majority of the return goes back to the investor. Almost everything that we are able to get, it goes to the investor.
But you also make profit as an institution.
We do, but what we do is we charge like a small management fee. You know, we charge a small fee of 1.2%. You know, just for allowing us to manage your money. Everything else, it goes to you.
1.2%.
Yes.
Okay.
It's extremely modest.
Now let's talk a bit about the relationship part, because I also know that there are some people that do investments in the country and they do not get, you know, perhaps that kind of one-on-one relationship or even advice. You know, some people will just take their money and just dump, perhaps with portfolio managers or even with assets managers and whatever. And like, okay, I have my 1 million, or I have my 50, or I have my 100 million, or 1 billion somewhere.
Yes.
And but do you go a step further in terms of advising your client, in terms of having that interpersonal relationship to say, okay, client A, or perhaps Nancy is your client, and you say, okay, Nancy, we're seeing that this investment, you've been doing this for a while, and we see that you can get value here. So you discuss with your client based on perhaps the age of that client and also the risk the person is willing to take, and give that person good advice.
Yes.
Do you do that?
We do,
because
actually.
I see some of these asset managers, they don't do that.
We do, actually. So what we do, and the first thing we do when we engage our clients, is we want to understand them. So we want to understand their needs, we want to understand their goals, we want to understand their risk appetite. So we take into consideration a bunch of factors. You know, we look at their age, we look at their employment, we look at, we try to ask them, what is your risk appetite? You know, how comfortable are you with where you want your money to go? Do you want it to be secure and then your returns will be a bit more modest, or do you want to invest in more risky assets, you know, that may be that may be more profitable to you in the long run? You know, so what we do is we try to gauge our clients holistically, and then we help them come to their investment decisions and say, okay, based on these, questions that we've asked you and your responses, this is what we believe will be suitable for you. And then we go ahead and then try and get confirmation from them that is this suitable for you? Do you want something slightly different? It's important to understand your clients. There's no better way to give them the best value other than having to speak to them in the first place. So we do that. And from time to time, what a client wants when they first came might be different from what they want 2 years from now, if you've been able to maintain that relationship. The client may have come as let's say a single person, and then 2 years down the line, they're ready to have a family, they're thinking about investing for their children, and then, when you maintain relationships with your customers, you can know these things about them, and then you can provide them with advice, saying, hey, okay, this one investment that you've been doing for yourself is good, but then if you are looking to do something for your child, you can set aside a secondary investment fund for them, and then you maybe putting towards it something that you don't want to put your hand on because it's not for you personally, it's for the future of somebody else. So what we do is from time to time, we engage our customers, we check in with them just to see, where they are at, how they feel about our service, anything that they think that they want, what their investment goals may be now as opposed to what they were when we first engaged them. The customer service angle is extremely important to UK-Dion. What we want to do is we want everybody to be as happy as possible. And there is no perfect organization. So the only way you can get as close to that perfection is by constantly having these conversations, asking people, oh, where do you think we can serve you better? What we want to do is just simply keep adding value to our clients, and we engage them to find out where we can do that as often as possible.
Can you just take us through again? I know you said it at the beginning, and the numbers are on the screen right now for viewers to reach you, at least for those that have been listening, and they want to take part in this. They want to have more secure and safe investment instead of taking a look at the Ponzi schemes or the pyramid schemes. As Somkene has said, for anyone speaking to you, just do your fundamental check first. Go on the website of SEC and check. I always say it here on the show, there is not enough to say that the company brings a CAC registered document to take your money. For people to take your money in the country, they must be licensed, and they must have license to take your money. So there are two different things.
Exactly.
Yes, to be registered. I can go and be registered now, or my company registered with SEC, but with CAC, but I'm not empowered to take your money. But people are doing it here, so you've got to be careful. So for those of you that are watching now, you want to get in contact with UK-Dion, you can do that. The addresses are on the screen for you to do that. But so can you just take us through again, in case those just tuning in? Your money market fund, how much is the minimum that you can invest? How much is the maximum? Numbers, emails, and what have you. So
the Dion Money Market Fund, as I said, is focused on investing our clients' money in money market instruments, helping them invest in treasury bills, fixed deposits, and commercial papers. The minimum investment amount is 5,000 naira, which you can top up as frequently as you like.
So if I have 5K now, I should just...
If you have 5,000 naira, you are already eligible to invest, and you will be treated as fairly as anybody else. There is no maximum amount. Why would we? Why would we say
Why would you cap it? So no maximum amount.
There's no maximum amount because we are here to provide value to anybody of any amount, really. So
if you have 5,000, you bring. If you have 1 million,
if you have 1 million, you bring.
If you have 500 million,
you still bring.
1 billion, you bring.
Bring them all. Yes. So as I said, we invest in money market instruments. The minimum investment amount is 5,000 naira. And our commencement date for the Dion Money Market Fund is the 25th of October. You can contact us at info@ukdion.com or mutualfund@ukdion.com. You can see our numbers on the screen, so you can call our customer service reps, and they will be able to attend to any questions that you have. They are extremely experienced and very well very, very well versed on the topics, and that is the Dion Money Market Fund.
Can they call from any part of the country?
They can call from anywhere. They can call from anywhere.
Even abroad, those watching?
Yes, our lines are open to everybody. If you have, I don't know, sort of family in the diaspora and they are looking to invest naira that they have here, that is also feasible. Yeah.
Okay. So you've heard from Somkene Jipreze, the fund manager at UK-Dion, talking about the money market fund that will be launched on the 25th of October.
Yes.
But when can people start calling you now, or you wait for?
Yes, so people can start calling us now.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're sensitizing people and we're preparing them. So we give them the dates, we give them all the information, so that they know when we are going to be open for business, and then they can come in. It's like from day one and start benefiting from the first day.
From day one.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a time period when the money market fund will end, or is just?
No, it's an open-ended fund. So once it goes live, it will be going on in perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything I've missed out, or is there anything you want to say?
I mean, I would like people to know that the money market fund is a very flexible investment form. It's easy to enter and exit. The charges are minimal.
Yeah, I was
and
coming to that. If I invest and I want my money back.
If you invest and you want your money back, usually after 30 days, you can get your money back without any charges. And if you leave before, the charges are extremely, extremely low. Like not even comparable to any sort of charges that you will meet in any other kind of investment, really. So it's designed to give people the freedom to enter it and exit it, because we know that, you're saving your money, but you're not just saving your money indefinitely. You're saving it because at some point in time, you are going to need it. So we give people the ability to come and collect what they've saved up to a point, and when they're ready to start again, you come back in just as easily. It's very, very simple. We give people access to view their investment information on a daily basis. So the rates for the Dion Money Market Fund will be published on our website every day. They will be published in This Day newspaper every day, and they will also be published on the Fund Managers Association of Nigeria website on a daily basis as well, so people can easily track their investment. They can also visit UK-Dion's investment portal, and they can see how much interest has accrued on their investments.
So I can be monitoring it every day?
You can be monitoring it every day. Yes.
Okay. But if I put my money now into the money market fund and I want it back, perhaps there's an emergency and I need the money back, must I wait for a certain period of time to want it back?
No, so we try to give people's money, their money back on the same day, right? So in most instances, you will get your money back same day, maximum the day after, and only the day after really if your request comes late in the day. So it's very liquid. It's very easy for us to move that money in and out, and the fund works with we work with a few other companies who are helping us in running the fund. So we work with UBA. UBA is the custodian for the fund. So what their role is to ensure that your money is secure with them. We work with FBN Quest trustees. FBN Quest trustees' role in the fund is to ensure that we as the fund managers are doing our utmost to give customers the value and keep to the promises that we have made to them. So there are different parties who are there to also hold us accountable, as well as our regulator, SEC.
Are your customers?
I mean, and our
who
customers.
are the MVPs?
They are the real winners. They are the real winners.
All right, Somkene, I think we've, I guess, is there any other thing?
I feel like we've covered
pretty much.
Yes.
So the thing now, the onus is on you watching. Don't go and put your money where your hands will be burnt, or your whole body. And you now send me a mail. Hey, Nancy, please help me we're trying as much as possible to give you information. We do know that the economic environment now, is a bit, sticky, but there are some certain places you can also put your money, like what Somkene said, perhaps to beat inflation, or even if you can't beat it, be close to it, but not that your money will be somewhere and getting it eroded. But your investment must be safe, it must be secure, and you must know the people you are giving your money to. I've heard, at least in the past few days, I don't know if you've seen that news. Of course, we see it almost every week. People collecting money indiscriminately from people, and at the end of the day, they take off. They won't even see them again.
You don't see their brake lights again.
Yes, you don't see them again. Someone, I was reading in the news, a young guy taking close to billions of naira and just, evaporating. Just evaporated into thin air. And a family member was in possession of 943 million naira of people. And yet we say there's no money. Where's that money? Anyway, but invest your money where you know it to be safe and secure. Somkene, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me again, Nancy.
All right, I've been speaking with Somkene Jipreze, who is a fund manager at UK-Dion. We've been taking a look at the money market fund that will be launched on the 25th of October. But just like we've said earlier, you can contact them. The addresses were on the screen, as well as the numbers. Thank you guys for that. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return, the program continues. To stay with us. Talk about different sessions like Greek, education, finance, women, technology. The Nigerian Communications Commission has disqualified anyone below the age of 18 from registering and owning a subscriber identity model in Nigeria. This is according to the draft copy of the Modified Registration of Telephone Subscribers Regulations published on the Commission's website. The Bank of Industry has announced that it has disbursed over ₦1 trillion in loans to micro, small, medium, and big businesses in the last 6 years. The accomplishments, according to the Development Financing Agency, through solid strategic collaborations with different state institutions, federal government agencies, and private sector organizations. The figure was given by the bank's managing director, Oluwakayode Ekpiton, at a lecture. He stated that the bank was at the forefront of the economy's industrialization and that it will continue to take deliberate steps to address issues related to financing gaps across all business segments. The continuing increase in food prices has been attributed to the increasing levels of insecurity in the country. Professor Uche Waleke, the former Commissioner of Finance in Imo State, stated this while speaking on the impact of insecurity on economic parameters. He stressed that until deliberate actions are taken to combat insecurity, food inflation will continue. to rise.
We are having over 20% food inflation rate in this country. It's partly due to insecurity. If you also look at the issue of debt, why is it that this country is spending as much as 97%, over 90% of our revenue servicing debt? You can also tie it to insecurity. And remember that recently, the president.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission said it investigated and prosecuted pension frauds involving 157 billion naira from 2016 to 2020. According to the agency, immediate change is required to ensure that the country's pension administration system is efficient, effective, and sustainable. The Director of Communications of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulkarim Chukul, promised that those who embezzled pension money will be brought to court. Relief materials worth about 100 million naira have been delivered by the federal government to Plateau State for onward distribution to victims of gunmen attacks in the state. At a brief ceremony held at the 3rd Division Barracks in the Bassa local government area of the state, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, presented the relief materials to Governor Simon Lalong. The Minister said that the materials were provided as part of the commitment made to the governor when he visited the president and requested assistance for victims. All right, those are the top stories at this time. Let's quickly take our next